Hello, this is Mary Bush with Stampin' in the Sand. Welcome to my fourth and final card in my Watercolor Birthday Blossoms Class to Go card tutorials. This is our final card in our class. It's the Celebrate You card. The colors for this card are Blackberry Bliss for the cardstock. We have the Moonlight Designer Series paper stack currently available in the clearance rack for our designer paper. We have our flower, which we have already stamped and watercolored. We stamped it in the archival black on shimmer white cardstock, colored it with our aqua painter and the Hello Honey and Blackberry Bliss ink. And we also have some leaves that we need to fussy cut. There is not a punch for that. The pansy does have the pansy flower punch. This is available in my online store. It was not included in the class to go, but was an option to purchase. Those that did not purchase the punch with the stamp set that was included in the class are fussy cutting their flower using the paper snips. So we can put that away. We don't need it as of this moment. So this is the card we're going to make today. If you have your kit in front of you, you will bring out your Blackberry Bliss card base and your two white panels that are cut 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And you also have the Blackberry Bliss striped designer paper and the, I guess what I'll call the splotch strip, which is your Blackberry Bliss and Hello Honey splotches. These are 1 inch by, I think they're 4 inches. I think I cut them to 4 inches. 1, 2, 3, actually they're 4.5. And we're just going to cut them down into flags. You also have some silver sequins. Those are from our sequin trim. I just cut off a little bit of trim and removed the sequins from the threads. So to get started, we will bring in one of our Whisper White panels, and we are going to bring in our Celebrate You stamp mounted on our block and the archival ink. Now I've gone ahead and created a template for my Stamp-A-Majig. Make sure though you use some water-soluble ink if you're making a temporary template. Don't use your archival because then you'll have a permanent template. And if you're using a clear mount stamp, you'll be removing it each time you use it. So it won't make any sense to make a permanent template. But if you have the wood mount set, then by all means you can create your permanent templates. I do that with all of my wood mount sets because it just makes it so much easier to grab and go. So I'm going to line this up at the bottom right hand corner. I guess I did it a little bit up from bottom, but it doesn't really matter where your placement is as long as you leave room for your banners. So I'll remove that. I'm going to ink up my stamp. Make sure I have it turned the proper direction. Just a quick up and down, or down and up. And that completes our stamping, actually, for, oh, sorry, I just whacked the camera. Gotta be careful. Okay, so I've got that stamped now. So I have here my triple banner punch, and that's what I will be using today to cut my banners. Now, if you do not have the triple banner punch, you can easily create a banner with your paper snips. So I'm going to insert that and cut off one end, and then I'll insert my striped paper and make sure that's good and centered. And actually I think I want it over a little bit because see that stripe there, that blackberry stripe, I'm trying to line it up with that. And I'm going to punch that off, put those aside. Now I am done with my punch. So now I'm going to bring in some Tombow liquid glue. Now for my banners here, I'm going to add some glue to the back of my banner. You can add any adhesive of your choice. I'm just finding that this is a little more forgiving if I make an oops, especially when I'm on camera. And I'm going to put this down the left hand side of my cardstock, but I want to add a little bit of white showing behind there. Now, if I had put this up a little bit higher, I might have cut my banner a little shorter. I did supply the card Class to Go subscribers with enough designer series paper that they could make their banners the length of their choice. I didn't add glue up here because I actually thought I was going to cut my banner off the top of the paper, but I actually like it that way. So if you look at this one compared to this one, it's actually exactly the same. I thought it was longer. Okay, never mind. That's funny. That was not intentional, folks. Now this, I am going to run my adhesive shy of the edge, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up so that the inner point here is on this outside edge. And then I'm just going to adhere it over the top. So now I'm going to come in with my snips, and I'm just going to trim that off like so. And I do have a scotch of overhang on both of those. So we're going to cut that off. And now my banners are lined up with the edge. So now I'm going to come in with my card. And I'll use Fast Fuse this time to adhere the front of my card onto the base. And I'm sorry, I'm rushing, and I'm not flicking my Fast Fuse like I should. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to line up the top of this cardstock with the top of our card. Like so. Okay. And then if you have any little fuzzies, I just like to use my fingernail and smooth those out. Okay, so now I'm going to come in, and I got my flower just a little scrunched up here, and I have these leaves, and I need to cut my leaves out. So I'm going to cut, but I'm probably going to speed up the video so that you don't have to watch me fussy cut. So I will cut away and rejoin you in a moment. Okay. So there are my leaves. So I'm going to come along here, add a little bit of glue to the back, and put my leaves down on the back of my flower. Then I'm going to grab a dimensional, and I'm going to put that right over top. And my flower I'm going to place on the card front, but my placement is actually going to depend on the pattern that's in my banner. So if I had a little bit more white area elsewhere, I might have chose to put the flower in a little bit different spot. So now I've got that. So our sequins, you can adhere your sequins using any glue or adhesive that you choose. I happen to like the new fine tip glue pen. You can also use Crystal Effects, or you can use the Tombow liquid glue. And I'm just going to place random dots, and I'm doing the odds. So I've got 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, 6. I've got 6 so far. Let's see how 6 looks. So we're going to take our tweezers and place those down on top of the glue. And this glue I found actually dries really quickly. So you kind of have to, you need to act a little quick with this glue. I absolutely love it, but it does dry rather fast. So if you have large areas that you're covering in glue, this may not be your adhesive of choice. Let's see. Okay, so that's 6. Oh, I put one over there. Maybe I'll put one up here. There's kind of a white spot up there. So we'll put a little sequin up there. And that little empty spot right there. How's that? Okay, so that completes our card front. Now, if you have subscribed to my card class by mail, I also included an extra panel. That's going to be for the inside of your card. So there's my sample. There's my loose panel because I haven't done anything with it yet. So that would go in like that. And this one will go in here. Now on some of my previous samples, I used the scattering of flowers for the inside of my card because there was also the scattering of flowers on the outside of the card. This card does not have that. So I will probably just stamp the pansy blossom and watercolor that, and that'll finish off my card. So I hope you have enjoyed our 4th and final card in the Watercolor Birthday Blossoms card class by mail, card class to go. If you have not subscribed to this class but would like to subscribe, the information for ordering is on my blog at www.stampinginthesand.blogspot.com. I look forward to stamping with you again soon. If you are not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, you can click to subscribe and won't miss any of my upcoming videos. And you can also check out the first 3 cards in the series and complete a collection for yourself. So thank you so much for joining me, and happy stamping. Have a great day.